Somewhere below you, in water with no light at all, something just made the loudest sound any living thing has ever made. It is a click. It lasts a fraction of a second. And it is aimed directly at something that is about to die. For 50 years, scientists believed that click was a weapon. A sonic gun that could stun a squid where it floated. They were wrong. And what the recording tags actually found is far more disturbing than a weapon. This is a sperm whale. 16 meters of muscle, carrying the largest brain that has ever existed on this planet. It is the largest predator with teeth alive today. Not the largest whale. The largest hunter. But the teeth are not the story. The head is. Roughly a third of its body is nose. Inside that nose sits a tank of oil, 2 air sacs, and a pair of hardened lips buried in the skull. Air is forced through those lips. They snap shut. The pulse ricochets between the air sacs, leaking sound out through the forehead. The result has been measured at 230 decibels. Nothing alive is louder. Which raises a question. Why would any animal need a sound that violent? To answer that, you have to follow it down. Past the light. Past the last of the blue. Into water that is simply black. Sperm whales hunt below 1,000 meters. The deepest dives ever recorded go beyond 2,000. They stay down for 30 to 50 minutes on a single breath, then surface for as little as 5 to recover. Down there, eyes are close to useless. So the whale does not look for its prey. It shouts at it, and listens. Each click leaves the forehead in a narrow beam, races out into the dark, strikes something, and returns. From that echo alone, the whale knows the size, the distance, and the direction of an animal it will never see. And this is where the old theory begins. If a whale can make the loudest sound on Earth, why use it only to see? Why not fire it, and stun the squid where it hangs? For decades, this was the leading idea. They called it the Big Bang hypothesis. It is a beautiful theory. It is in the documentaries. It is in the textbooks. And in 2016, it fell apart. A team publishing in scientific reports did something nobody had managed before. They put the recorder on the whale. Suction cup tags. Microphones and accelerometers, riding the animal's back, down into the dark, through an entire hunt. For the first time, we heard a kill from the inside. And the whale did the exact opposite of what everyone predicted. As it closed in on its prey, the sperm whale got quieter. Not louder. Quieter. In the final seconds, its output fell by 20 to 40 decibels. As much as 100 times weaker at the moment of the kill. The sound actually reaching the squid was well under 200 decibels. To stun a squid, you would need over 250. That is not a small gap. That is a different universe of energy. The whale was never firing a weapon. So what were those final clicks doing? They were speeding up. Half a second between clicks collapsed to 20 milliseconds. It was not a gunshot. It was a refresh rate. The whale was updating its picture of a target that was running. Because that is what the weapon theory hid from us. The squid is not drifting, helpless. The squid is fleeing. The tags recorded the chase. Sustained speed around 2 meters per second, with bursts faster still, in total darkness. A 16-meter animal, running down a squid it cannot see, steering purely by echo, 1,000 meters beneath the surface. And then, in 93% of those final approaches, the accelerometers recorded a violent jerk in the last 5 seconds. Something physical happened at the moment of capture. And it was not a bite. Here is the strangest fact about the largest predator in the ocean. It does not really need its teeth. Sperm whales have been found with lower jaws twisted into spirals. Jaws broken, then healed at impossible angles. Jaws that cannot close, cannot grip, cannot bite anything at all. And those whales were healthy and full of squid, the same prey, the same sizes, as whales with perfect teeth. So how, exactly, is it eating? It inhales. The whale drops its jaw, pulls its tongue back, and the pressure drop drags the squid in whole. That is the jerk on the accelerometer. Not a jaw closing, a mouth opening, and the sea pouring into it. The teeth are almost decoration. The real weapon is a vacuum, and the sound that aims it. Which brings us to the animal you are actually here for. The one that leaves its signature on the whale's skin. Sperm whales surface with circles carved into their heads. Rings of scar tissue, laid out in rows. Those rings are sucker marks. They belong to squid with arms long enough to reach across a whale's face. Open a sperm whale's stomach and you find beaks. Squid beaks do not digest. They simply collect, year after year. One stomach has been recorded holding around 30,000 beaks. That is roughly 15,000 squid. And among them, the beaks of Architeuthis, the giant squid. So we know, with certainty, that this fight happens. Here is what we do not know. Nobody has ever seen it. Not once, in the whole of human history. There is no footage. No photograph. Every image you have ever seen of that battle is a painting, or a guess. The entire war between the largest predator and the largest invertebrate is reconstructed from 2 things: scars and stomach contents. And when you read those 2 things honestly, the story turns again. Because the scars are not the wounds of an equal fight. The whale carries the marks. The squid is in the stomach. This is not a duel. It is a diet. Sperm whales, as a species, are estimated to eat on the order of 100 million tons of prey every year. That estimate is comparable to everything the entire human fishing industry pulls out of the ocean annually. But the thing that should keep you awake is not the appetite. It is what they're doing while they eat. They talk. Sperm whales exchange pattern bursts of clicks, called codas. More than 70 types have been catalogued. Groups share coda repertoires. Dialects. Whales from different clans, in the same water, will not associate with each other. The dialect is learned, not inherited. Which makes it culture. There are nations down there, and they do not speak to one another. So here is the truth about the ocean's most terrifying hunter. The horror was never the 230 decibels. It is that the abyss is not an empty, mindless void. It is mapped. It is hunted. It is spoken in. Right now, in the dark under the waves, something enormous is listening. It is not lost down there. It lives there,